Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ashton,
And I'm a struggling alcoholic.
and this is News Channel 47.
We've got some spicy potatoes on the grill for you guys today. We're getting all the news from the Baltimore riots to the stupid, edgy-looking Joker. It's all right here on News 47.
Hi, I'm Soares, and I will be reporting on the Baltimore riots.
On April 12, 2015, a 25-year-old African-American man by the name of Freddie Gray was arrested by Baltimore police. As you can see here, policemen claimed to have seen a knife on Gray. Following his arrest, Gray sustained injuries to both the neck and spine while being transported, but officers claim they do not know when or how Gray sustained these injuries. Reports say Gray was not strapped into a seatbelt when placed in the van, and during multiple stops, he asked for medical attention. Gray fell into a coma, and a week from his arrest, Gray passed away.
I think they should have tried to go up in a more friendly way to the young man and then say, we need to talk for a minute, and then to begin to ask whatever line of questioning they had to pursue in order to find out why they were stopping him to begin with.
I think that this kind of stuff happens, and I think it was just the policeman not being smart and messing up. I don't really think it had anything to do with racism at all.
Protests were organized after Gray's death became public, and very violent protests came about more so after Gray's funeral service.
I can tell you that we're kind of living in a climate of, I guess you could say, hyper-awareness about racial issues lately, ever since the Ferguson incident last year. So I think a lot of these incidents are coming to light now in a way that they may not have before.
I think most of Baltimore was not for the riots themselves. The protesting, I think everyone was behind.
I think that this is their hometown. These people, they live with them now. They're just destroying each other's homes and their own town where they lived just because they're angry.
Thousands of policemen and Maryland Army National Guard troops have been deployed, and a state of emergency was declared in the city limits of Baltimore.
Instead of rioting and fighting for justice, you should, I guess, still fight for justice, but not in a physical and harmful way.
Protesters claim their goal is to get legal prosecution of those responsible for Gray's death.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more on this topic. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Krista. Things are looking pretty sketchy over there in Maryland.
Just like my attorney. He smells like liquor.
Roger that, C-Man. Up next, we have Corey Steves reporting on Titanic. Corey?
My name is Corey Esteves, and on April 15th of 1912, the Titanic sank tragically on its maiden voyage. I'm here today speaking with students and faculty at Dartmouth High School about their thoughts on this event. Do you know what event happened 103 years ago as of April 15th, 2015?
The Titanic.
I would ask you a
Oh,
question.
okay. The Titanic.
Titanic.
Yes, that's the sinking of the Titanic.
Are you aware of what caused this event? I'm assuming you are.
Yes, the ship crashed into an iceberg due to the blatant disregard for safety on the part of the captain.
Have you seen the movie based on this tragic event?
Are you referring to the Leonardo DiCaprio film?
Yes.
Yes.
I have.
No.
Well, how accurate was it?
I think he portrayed it as a big budget Hollywood version of the event. I think some aspects of it were accurate, but certainly not all of the various embellishments that he portrayed in the film.
I don't know. I thought. I wouldn't picture a ship splitting in half, but it could happen, I guess.
What would your escape plan have been?
I probably wouldn't have escaped because it was women and children first.
Don't lie on the whatever it was that she was lying on. I would have gotten on the little boat thing. Alright. And I would have
Or stayed on the plank.
paddled away.
Do the girl off, staying on the plank. Probably taking one of those boats before anyone else did.
Once again, this is Corey Esteves reminding you that Jack and Rose could both fit on that door. Now, back to Bagel and Aiden.
Thanks, Corey. I can't joke about this because it was an international tragedy.
Yep. I guess everyone's spirits dropped real low that day. Alright, next we go to Nadia Nothsa, reporting on the Aaron Hernandez story. Nadia? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nadia Nothsa. I went around the school today and interviewed people on the Aaron Hernandez trial. Here's what they had to say. Do you think the grand jury made the right decision in this trial?
Yeah, I believe so, because they had enough evidence to prove he was guilty.
Do you feel the life without parole decision was correct in the Aaron Hernandez trial?
Yes, because he killed like 3 people, and even if he got off on this trial, he would have to go up to Boston and face murder charges there, and down to Florida to face murder charges there. So even if he got off this, he would have had other murder charges to face and would have had other prison time. So I mean, if he did get out, a criminal like him, someone like him, has a high chance of going back in jail. So it makes sense to keep him in jail for the rest of his life, I guess.
If you were part of the Hernandez family in this situation, what's running through your mind?
If I'm part of the Hernandez family, I think I'm feeling a little bit sad that Aaron stayed with that kind of lifestyle when he was in the pros and had enough money to care for himself and his family probably. So, and there's no need to be messed up in that kind of stuff.
Along with life in prison, do you believe that Aaron Hernandez should still be charged for 2 counts of murder?
Me and Jack both believe it's a waste of money because why go through the court process again? He's already being charged. Jack thinks that's a good idea.
Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Every now and again, I go visit Aaron Hernandez in his cell, and we talk about gum.
It's actually very terrifying, Christian.
We hear a lot about the weather, but what is the weather?
That's not, no, Christian, that's not how this goes. Just go to the weather.
Good morning, this is your local weather woman, Fallon Fagundes here reporting to you from DHS Studios. Lately, the weather in New England has been very irregular. So many snowstorms have interrupted school, causing schools to force more snow days than intended, which is pushing school a little farther than expected. We talked to some of our fellow faculty and students to get our take on the weather in New England.
As much as I enjoyed having the snow days, I think it's kind of ridiculous that we had to push back a whole quarter, and now fourth quarter is kind of suffering in days.
I feel like in past years we've been released later, so I feel like it's not that bad. Plus I don't have to work as much in the summer if I'm at school.
Well, I know that I really got to know the pushy little pumpkin who is my Kubota L6 tractor. So I know that I spent a lot of time out there in the snow, so I don't even know when school ends anymore.
I wouldn't mind, but it's only 5 days. I mean, it's not that much. Like, you get to have days off when you're already like stressed out, so it's good. It's like a mini vacation.
Alright, weather for Wednesday is mostly cloudy and temperatures around 57 degrees. It's a little humid and the temperatures are going to rise from the 60s between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Thursday, there's going to be scattered showers around 49 degrees steady. It's going to be very humid, 50% chance of rain heading around 4 p.m. And Friday starts about cloudy, 54 degrees, then rises to about 64 between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. and humidity is about 55%.
I'm really tired, by the way.
Okay, what are your hopes for the weather this summer?
Hot. That's it. No rain. Well, some rain.
Sunny and warm and not snowy.
I hope that it's sunny, but like not too hot. Like if it's in like the 90s, I feel like that's too hot because then I have to be in the water all the time. But if it's in like the 80s, I can like lay out at the beach and tan.
We're all going to have a sunshine now. We're all going to have to go out in the field and be like, sun. So anyway, that's how I feel about it.
And that's the weather for this week. Have a fantastic weekend.
Now back to the depressing news. We're going to Garrett on his report of the Walter Scott shootings.
Is that the guy from The Office?
Yep.
Hi, my name is Garrett Jackson, and today I went around Dartmouth High interviewing people on the Walter Scott shooting. Here's what they have to say. What is your take on the idea of the Walter Scott shooting being an act of racism?
I think it was an act of racism. One, he was running away, and two, if it was a white guy, I don't think the cop would have shot him with that.
What do you believe the officer would have done if Walter Scott was white?
I think he would have done the same thing. I don't think it was a race issue.
What's your take on people recording public altercations?
As I said to you yesterday and earlier this morning, G, I don't think we're ever going to stop that. I mean, people are, we saw it in the cafeteria when there was a fight. The kids, at a young age, whipped out their cameras and took pictures of the fight. Nothing's going to stop that. I'm not saying it's right, but nothing's going to stop it.
How should Officer Slager be punished for the death of Walter Scott?
Well, I'm not totally definite on all the details, but from what I have heard, I think he should definitely serve some time in jail, if not jail for most of his life. I think he should definitely be punished harshly for shooting a kid. That shouldn't be, because a mistake can be made.
How does the Walter Scott shooting affect or change your opinion on police officers?
I believe that most cops down south probably do have a bit of racism, but other than that, I don't think we'll classify all cops as part of that.
Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Speaking of depressing news, my wife just recently left me.
Oh, that's awful. Like, I guess we're just do the stupid Jared Leto thing. I'm sorry.
Thanks, Bagel. DC's new and upcoming movie Suicide Squad has been facing a lot of criticism, mostly directed towards Jared Leto's new interpretation of the Joker. Here's the whole story.
Austin Vincent, I have a vast knowledge in the art of DC and Marvel Comics. I've been going to cons for a while.
What are your thoughts on the new Joker?
I get how they're going for an edgy look for it, but it did not come across well, in my opinion, in the picture they did present. He looks more like a Joker fan instead of the Joker. I do not like the tattoos on him, especially the one that says damaged on his forehead, because we know the Joker's already damaged. You shouldn't have to tell us that. He should portray it in the acting.
I'm scared of him, it sucks.
I hate him. He's nothing like the comic book, and no one can ever replace Heath Ledger.
He just looks like a normal person that's really pale and has a lot of tattoos.
This is Jared Leto's new Joker. There is no doubt that it's quite a deviation from the fan favorite Heath Ledger. Some key feature of this character is his tattoos, specifically the one on his forehead that was damaged, the bleached skin, and the grills on his teeth. Let's see what fans at Dartmouth High School have to say about this character. How do you feel he relates to the previous movies?
We have seen a more comic Joker with Jack Nicholson, and we've seen a more terrorist, more up-to-date Joker with Heath Ledger, so maybe Jared Leto will bring a whole new Joker.
Jack Nicholson did the first Joker, and he kind of did his own style to the Joker, and then Heath Ledger made it very dark. I felt like he did a very dark type of Joker, which when Jared Leto got chosen to be this time the Joker, a lot of people were upset about it because they didn't think that he would be able to do it. But I think he's going to bring his own style to it, and I think he's going to fit in well with the Suicide Squad because it's a different take on it. It's not the typical Batman movie, so it's going to be different.
How do you feel he relates to the comics?
We have seen a Joker with tattoos in the comics, but he was a more cynical, so if Jared Leto does pronounce a cynical Joker in the movie, it might be able to work, but we will see when the movie comes out.
The way they did the Heath Ledger makeup and stuff like that, I would keep it like that because he looks all washed away and he just looks like total crap. And just that's the Joker.
David Ayer's Suicide Squad is set to release August 5th, 2016. The film will star Margot Robbie, Will Smith, and Jared Leto, just to name a few. Leto seems to be harboring the majority of the movie's criticism for his character, the Joker. How does this Joker make you feel about the upcoming movie Suicide Squad?
It doesn't make me want to see it, I promise you that.
The Suicide Squad official photo has been released, and that made me excited, but the Joker itself has made me a little sad because I don't like it.
Well, there you have it. Until the movie's released, we can't confirm any of these accusations, so all we can do is wait. Back to you, Aiden and Bagel.
Our next story is about...
How'd you...
What?
Who let him in? He's not supposed to be within 500 feet of here.
He's not allowed in here.
How did he... Hi, I'm Bagel. Have you ever heard of the Rocky Horror Picture Show? Neither did I. Then I went on Wikipedia and Googled it because I was out for 2 days. It's exciting. Got more for you. Ask questions. Good time.
I can't say it's really had an impact on my life.
I don't think it's had any impact on my life. I've never watched the entire thing. I've just seen clips of it, and I've watched it remade on Glee.
I don't know what that is, so no effect whatsoever.
Okay. I thought it was weird, honestly.
I think it's a rite of passage. You have to watch that movie. It's something that is referenced throughout
many different books or other films.
What defines a good horror movie?
When there's a lot of blood and guts and a good story.
It needs to be scary and not just like jump scares. Originality is definitely key.
There's nothing more scary than your own mind.
What defines a good comedy?
When there are a lot of jokes.
I mean, are we gonna look at the Aristotle version of a comedy, whereas we see as long as it ends well, it's a comedy?
I think a good comedy depends on the cast being able to play well off of each other.
Sex jokes are always funny.
If there's no connection, I feel like they're not going to get each other's humor and it's all going to fail.
How do you feel about Fox making a remake of the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Oh, I don't know about that.
You cannot beat the original. If you try to replace the original cast, you're just going to be mimicking what they originally did. So it's going to be that's a challenge that I don't think any company, even somebody as big as Fox, should take on.
I hate Fox.
Yes, in some cases. Like, I don't know why this movie just came into my head, but The Longest Yard, the one with Adam Sandler.
I don't think so. That was a really weird group of people before they became famous, popular. I don't know if they can capture that. I don't know if anyone else can look that good in fishnets.
No show for me next week. I have to see my divorce lawyer.
What was that?
Stupid druggies.
Doesn't he have a restraining order?
He does, yeah, but he still like somehow manages to come back.
I don't know why Wally would let him in again.
I don't know either. I think we need to have a serious discussion with Wally about the future of our company. But like, that's
we gotta keep rolling.
Okay. So Rocky, what did you think of the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
I've never seen it, but speaking of horror, my ex-wife attacked me with a box cutter recently, and hurt a lot.
Oh crap! What time is it? I was supposed to go to my A meeting like an hour ago.
All right, just cut it right there.